In this week's Tableau Tip Tuesday, I'm going to show you how to use level of detail expressions to create a view like you see on the screen that's counting the number of days that are profitable within each month and year. This was created by Bethany Lyons when level of detail expressions first came into Tableau, and it's part of her series on the top 15 LOD expressions. So let's see how to create it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to count the number of days that are profitable. So first, let's look at each order date and bring in the profit in the view. Now this is going to tell us whether or not a date is profitable. So let's go ahead and count the profit for each date. So let's call this profit per day. And then we're going to use a fixed level of detail expression here. So we're going to fix it on order date and count the profit, or sum the profit. So this is saying for each order date, give me the total profit. And if I drag that into the view, you'll see the values are exactly the same. That's great. That's exactly what I want. And now what I want to do is I want to classify the dates as profitable, highly profitable, or unprofitable. But first, let me rename my field because I noticed I spelled profit wrong. So to do that, I'm going to create another calculated field. And I'm going to call this profitability level. Profitability level. And I'm going to say if profit per day is bigger than 200, then highly profitable. Else if profit per day is bigger than 0, then profitable. Else unprofitable. End. Okay, so we have our expression, and if we go ahead and put that on the rows, you'll see that each day is classified as unprofitable or profitable. Now, you might think, well, why do we need to use the level of detail expression here? It's because we want to look at the total profit for each day. So if I bring in row ID into the view, you'll see some days, like this day here, has one row that's profitable and 2 rows that are unprofitable. But the total profit for that day is minus 66, and we want to look at we want to evaluate the total profit for the day as either unprofitable, profitable, or highly profitable. So now that we have that built, we can start building our view. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen, and I'm going to take order date and drag it to the columns, and then split it out by month. From there, I need to count the number of days that are profitable. So I don't even need to do that. So what I could do is I'm going to bring profitability level to the rows and also put it on the color. And now I'm going to count the number of days that are profitable. So to do that, I'm going to right click and drag order date to the rows, and I'm just going to do count distinct. And there we go. We have the basis for our chart. I'm going to go ahead and from here, I'm going to go ahead and set it to the entire view. Duplicate my count distinctive order ID. Make the first mark an area chart. Make sure the second chart is a line. Make it a bit fatter. And then I'm going to go ahead and make them dual axis. From there, I got to synchronize. And we have something pretty close. So I'm going to go ahead and hide my field labels for my rows. I'm going to rotate my labels. I'm going to hide my field labels for my columns. For my rows. And I'm going to just rename this field as number of days. Okay, great. So now I can hide this second axis. And one of the things I don't like now is that these months are all really long. So I'm just going to go ahead and abbreviate them. So I'm going to format those, and I'm going to set it to the first letter. Now they're not all showing, but that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and format it again. And let's say I want to make those maybe 7 point, something like that, or 8 point. Let's be consistent here. And then on this axis, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just set this to Tableau regular, which I believe, or no, Tableau book. Where's table book? There we go. And we can set it to maybe the medium gray like the rest of them are. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to clean up our tooltips a bit. And we want to say, we could say something like in the month of 2016, then blah, blah, blah. So let's go ahead and drag order date to the tooltip. And I'm going to choose month and year. And now when I hover over my tooltip, oops, I chose the wrong thing here. I need to drag it to the detail shelf and do month and year. And that broke it as well. So let's see. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go ahead and create a copy of I'm going to create a custom date. And I'm just going to make this months as my date part. And if I drag that to the detail shelf, oops, same thing. Let me do that again. Drag it to the tooltip. And now you can see I'm getting the month number instead of the month name. Okay, so I need to fix that. So let me edit that, and let's go ahead and let me delete that. And yes, and let's just create a calculation instead. So let's just call this our month. And I'm just going to drag this field into the view, but it needs to be a date name, not a date part, because I want to return the name of the month. And if I go ahead and put that on detail, oops, put that on tooltip, now we can see the month and the year in there. Okay, so last thing is clean up the tooltip. So let's see, I want to go ahead and I want to uncheck include in tooltip for that one. And I want to say, so I'm going to say in, and let's take our attribute of month. So this is going to say something like in May of 2016, there, let's see, there were the number, and I'm going to say and then I need to take my profitability level and stick that in between. Okay, there we go, just a bit of cleanup. We'll get rid of that. And then I need to just go ahead and clean up my tooltip a bit. Okay, there we're getting there. So, so now when I look at my tooltip, you'll see it'll say in May 2017, there were 8 highly profitable days. So it looks like I put where in there, or were in there twice. Okay, so now I can see it says there were 15 highly profitable days. Okay, so yeah, the next thing maybe you'd want to extend this a bit, and instead of looking at, so in our profit per day calculation, or sorry, not profit per day, we want to look at the profitability level calculation. You can see this says 200. You could parameterize that if you wanted to. So to do that, I'm going to create a parameter, and I'm going to call it set high profitability level. And I'm just going to make that an integer. And I'm going to default it to 200 since that's what we have in there now. Show that parameter control. And if I edit my calculation, I can replace the 200 with my parameter. Okay, so now if I type in 500, you'll see the view changes. If I type in 100, the view changes. So yeah, so you can go ahead and parameterize it as well. So if we look back at the example, you know, you can see it says how many days each month are highly profitable, profitable, unprofitable. So let's go ahead and stick it in a dashboard. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the phone view. And let's see. So let's go ahead and show our title. And let's see. What does it say? How many days each month are highly profitable, or unprofitable. And what I'd like to do here is I'm going to go ahead and color code these based on the color that they are in the legend. So make that bold. Profitable needs to be orange and bold, and then unprofitable should be red and bold. And yep, so now I don't need my profit level. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the parameter. I'm not finding that very useful. Hide the title on my dashboard. Actually, what I could do is instead I could get rid of my title and stick it actually in here in my dashboard title. Okay, so it doesn't quite all fit, so I'm going to go ahead and shrink it down maybe to maybe 14 because I want to make the whole view a bit smaller anyway. Right, so let's see. So if I make it about, let's say 800 by 600, I can still see my months at the bottom are cut off a bit. So let me see how wide I need to make it in order to show all of those. So there we go, 1100. Let's maybe make it 1100 by 700, something like that. So yeah, hopefully you found that useful. You can also see that she's cleaned this up quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and format and get rid of my grid lines. And I can go ahead and get rid of my zero lines as well. And yeah, and I would just, I like to continue to format things until I get them kind of the way I like. So maybe I'll do Tableau medium for, maybe 11 point. Maybe do the same thing for my axis, I'm sorry, my profitable indicators. Maybe make those 11 as well. And then maybe my axis, I make maybe 8 point. I'm going to make that black. And then the axis title, I'm going to go ahead and make that. So Tableau book, that's fine. 8 point and black. And then maybe I'll do the same thing down the bottom. So let's make this Tableau, let's see. So let's make this one black and Tableau 8. Okay, so hopefully you found that useful. I know it was a bit of a all over the place here, but the trick here is to be able to count to use a level of detail expression to first thing you want to do is you want to determine if each day, or just get the profit for each day. And then from that, we decided, we looked at the profit per day because I'm only getting one record back for each day. And I'm just classifying it either as highly profitable, or unprofitable. From the rest of it from there is just building out the view. So yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know. Have a good day.